So yesterday we have seen, so the toolbar. So and then one thing I was explaining about that. So this clipboard. So the copy the data from any other data source or any other data sets and place it in your workbook. So that we have seen. And where that is stored. So basically that will store along with your workbook. So when you store your workbook, so now you see here we have this values displayed. So now suppose I open another sheet. So this one. So I copy. So here what all I have? So I have sales rep, year, quarter, sales, incentive, spend, SS ratio and country. 7 fields I have. So just I copy and control V because that is what it is here, right? Replace data source. Paste data, sorry, place data. So when I paste data, control V, so then automatically it will create another data source for me. And what is the data source name? Clipboard underscore year, month and date and T, hour, minutes and seconds. So that would be created, right? Hour, minutes and seconds will be created. That clipboard name will be that way. And so that we can change that. If you wanted, you can rename this. So we can rename this, no problem. But the thing is that where this will store. So this I know I brought it from here, from the respective location. And this clipboard, I got it. Maybe it is from the Excel sheet or text tab separator, or I got it in the mail. So wherever it may be. So before I, 1 minute. Okay. So now suppose if it is a, you will ask me one question. So see, you are copying it from some data source. So why can't you use the same data source? Anyway, that is a file. So why you want to copy and paste it, and that again creates another clipboard data source anyway that is stored as. So your logic is correct, but suppose I got my data in a mail. So because this is not for all the scenarios, right? Only for the special scenario. So what special scenario, specific scenario is that? So suppose I got the data through mail. So copying and pasting in a Excel or text tab separated, save that in the repository. Copy directly from there and place it in my dashboard, in my sheet. So then automatically that in turn creates a data source file for me. So what is the file format? This is a clipboard underscore y and dd and t. What is the hour, minutes and seconds you created also it is there. And where this will store? In your repository location. In your repository location. So when you store this, so it will store in your repository location, Tableau data sources, and outside your 10.0. If it is stored inside, what will happen? This will be displayed here as a saved data source. So that's why it will store in the data sources folder, but outside your folder, that's version number. So clipboard underscore, so this name it will be stored. So you can rename that and use it. It's not a problem. When this will store? When you save this workbook. So now it is having two, right? So yesterday's one and another one. So now suppose I am saving this. So when I save this, it will ask, your clipboard data has been saved to the following location, D Tableau data source, and this is of this Excel. Okay. So when I go here, you see the third file is stored. third file is stored there. So this is how the saving the data source. So copying and pasting from your any of your mail body or any of your files and storing that. So it would be so. This is the features we follow here. Okay. So now why? So this in this also you see my data interpreter how fast it works. So sales rep, year, quarter, sales, incentive, spend, SS ratio, country. So it identifies immediately. So Arun, sales rep, this is a string. Year, this is a whole number, this is my number whole. And this is quarter, this is a alphanumeric string. And this is my number decimal, number decimal, number decimal, number decimal. And this is my string. So while I say copy and paste, so that time in the few seconds, it identifies the value, it identifies the field name also. So and the values why I say it specifies the number data type, number whole, number decimal, string, date time, and it pushes to the dimension shelves and the measure shelves, and the field name, you see the country, immediately it assigns as a geocoded field. So in that fraction of seconds, it identifies the field name value and the field name and pushes and associates that particular, distinguishes that particular field into the measure and the dimension. So this is the power of your data interpreter, Tableau data interpreter. So why this is not showing value? Because this is a year, it is showing this as a number continuous. So let me change this to discrete, it will show the value. So that I will come later. So today itself I will be covering that. Next one is suppose. So here there is one option, measure names, whether you notice so far, measure names in your dimension, and there is a measure shells. In your measure shells, we have a measure values, number of records, latitude or longitude. What is this? Basically. So this one, so whatever the measures in your measure shells, sales. So now for the sales, quantity, profit and discount. These four measures are there. These values, the sales means, suppose if I place category, the category, individual category sale, that sales values are stored in my measure values. And what is the measures? Names, sales, profit, quantity, discount. This measure names only will be stored in the measure name. So if I have 4 measures, the 4 measure names. If I have 10 measures, 10 measure names. Only one measure, that one measure names will be stored in the measure names. It's a static. So that's why it is there in the dimension. The values, the sales values, profit values, discount values, the quantity values, those values will be stored in the measure values. And what is this number of records? So suppose I place category. So the total number of records for this data set is 9,994. 9,994 records. Give me a minute. She is asking for the link now. So 9,994 records. Suppose in this, if suppose category furniture. So the category furniture maybe some 1000 records or 2000 records. Office supplies some 3000, 5000 records. And technology some 2000, 3000 records. Or the same 9900 records if you put a product. So one product one maybe 10 records. Product 2 maybe 25 records. Product 3 maybe 17 records. The same, instead of product I put a customer. Customer 1 maybe 9 records. Customer 2 maybe only 1 record. So it depends. So that distinct number of records for the particular dimension. So that will be there in your number of records. Latitude or longitude, it is automatically generated, that is for your geographic rule. So now the use of this. So suppose I told you the legend. There are 3 legends we have. One is color, size, and the third one I told you the measure values legend. That is this one. This is the one. So how my architecture, the Tableau architecture works. Leave this chart representation apart. Whenever you go for a chart, either it is a bar, line or pie or whatever may be the chart, if you place one measure, so then that measure will occupy the y-axis. If I place 2 measures, so then the same y-axis is being shared between these 2 measures. If I place 3 measures, then 3 measures will be sharing the, means that scale, it is been shared. So leave this chart representation apart. Come to the textual representation of the same chart. When I place two measures, 3 measures, so then, so that will be displaying in the text only. Suppose the customer say text 1000, 1150, 1200, whatever. The same profit 10, 115, 175 for the customers. Quantity 2, 15, 17, so it may be. So these are all the textual representation for your measures. So now for example, so now let me bring this subcategory here. It's showing 17 values for this. The sales, when I put this text, fine. The same profit I put it here, it is showing for this. And the quantity I put it in the text, it is showing. And the discount, it shows in this text. So for my each subcategory members, I want to see the 4 measures, that too in the textual representation, not in the chart representation. Textual representation. So how many times I placed? So 4 times I placed. The same you see here, I come here, I place this subcategory. So just double click on the measure values. So here carefully see this, the textual representation of my 4 measures, I dragged each and every one and placed in the mark labels, text mark label, right? So what happens, it was showing that for each and every subcategory it was showing this. But instead what I will do, just go double click on this measure values. You see the difference. Just go, hi Hannah, double click on this measure value. So just to see the difference. So only one click I did. So all the measures in my measure shelves has come here. Sales, profit, quantity, discount. Along with that, the number of records also has come. So whatever the measures are here in the measure shelf, sales, profit, quantity, discount, and this number of records, all these measures on one click on my measure values, it has come here. It has come here. So now you see here how many times you drag. 4 times you drag. Now number of records, if I take that, it would be 5 times. This will work for only the textual representation, not for the chart representation. So just a click on my measure values. So it displays, now this one you can arrange. So I want the sales to be shown here. This is. I want this quantity should be shown first and sales to be shown next. then let me have this profit to be sales. You can do this. So quantity, sales, profit, discount, and number of us. Slightly you can increase this. Okay, slightly. So this is the one you display. So this subcategory also you slightly drag this. It will show that. Okay. So now here, whatever these values are stored in this measure values, whatever the names, quantity, sales, profit, discount, this is there in this measure names. And also one thing you notice, so the measure names is there in the filter. We didn't do. Automatically it has come. And the measure values in the text. You see here, I placed each and every measure in the text. But here you see, only the measure values in the text, and this is your measure value shelves. This is your measure value shelves. I told there are three shelves we have: color, size, and the measure value shelves. The measure value shelves. So now when you go and see this, the measure values shelf will be enabled. For the normal presentation, the measure value shelves will not be enabled. And even in this worksheet also, you see here, this measure values shelf will be enabled. Okay. So this is now the next step. So now, so just I clicked on measure values, it brought all the measures. I don't want this number of records. So this also one thing, the number of records you see, the subcategory, the accessories, in my total number of records 9,994 rows in this data set, this is 775 rows, and this is 466 rows, and this is 796 rows. Now instead of this subcategory, so let me show the customer name, the product name, sorry. So now this product you see here, this product is of 6 rows, this product is of 2 rows, this product is of 6 rows. And we bought this product of 14 quantity, the sale is of 2706 and its profit is 579 and there is no discount for this product. Right? So now let me remove this. I go for the customer. So you can go take this customer. So this customer Aaron Bergman, total in my 9,994 records, it is having 6 records. And Aaron Hawkins, it is 11 records. And Smelling, it is 10 records. Adam Hutt, it is 20 records. So this number of records based on my dimension placement, it will vary dynamically. You are writing, right? Select, count, distinct within a bracket. Within a bracket, you put a customer name. So it shows. So the customer name with that, what is the distinct count, it will show. So count distinct, if you put a product name, so then it will show the product name and what is its distinct count. Similarly this one, number of records will play the count distinct of whatever the dimension you are placing, accordingly that will change. Now coming to this, no, I don't want this dimension, number of records I don't want. Go here, edit filter and click this. So it will remove this from the measure shelves, measure value legend, and it will remove from this. So how this works? Basically this measure names placement and the measure values in the text and the measure values legend. This, if it is more than one measures, automatically it will come. For your textual representation, you should be very clear. So I will tell you one thing. So now see, you are taking your subcategory, the same I place it in the chart representation. So your measure is occupying your x-axis. If I place the second measure for your chart representation, your axis is shared. If I place the third one, it is shared. But the same I go for the textual representation. No need to worry. So just go here, click on this text table. So now you see here, I will tell you where this placement will go. This is subcategory, this will be there here. This sum and sales and sum and profit will go into the measure values legend. And this here in this label, I have measure values and there is a measure names in the filter. And if you click on edit filter, you can see all these 5 measures, but only your sales and the profit is enabled. This is what going to happen. You see here. Just click this, right? See here, subcategory is here, measure names is in the filter, and measure values in the text, and in the measure values legend I have sum of sales and profit. In your filter, if you go edit filter, I see all this, but only the sales and the profit is enabled. So this is your nomenclature, architecture of your Tableau. You should be very clear. You should not confuse at all. So basically the measure values legend will be helpful when you wanted to do a textual representation for your chart. Cross tab, text tables. So for this scenarios, this would be used. Otherwise, for the chart representation, if you place multiple measures, it will be shared. Your axis will be shared. So for that we have dual axis and all those things. That I will come later. So this is your basic representation of your chart. So now more than one measure when you go for a representation. Suppose if it is only one measure, for example, you see here the same. So I place this only one measure. So then when I go to this, no measure value shells will be there, no measure values legend is there, nothing will be there, just a text. That's all. If it is more than one measure, then that process will start. 2, 3, 4, more than one, whatever it may be, 2, 3, 4, 5, all. So it will show that. Okay, this is the thing you need to notice. So your measure values will have for the measures which is placed that values, and the measure names will have all the labels of these measures here, and the number of records, whatever the dimensions you are placing, that distinct values, how many number of records in my total data set, that number of records will be there here. These are all by default comes along with the Tableau installation. You are not, whenever whatever the data set you connect, these 5 columns will be there: measure names, measure values, number of records, latitude and longitude. Now one interview question I will tell you. In interview question they will say, so when you design a map for your chart, so longitude and latitude is mandated. Anyway, it is there along with this, it is generated. Because it comes along with the Tableau installation, your geocoded tables are there. This latitude and longitude for each and every field, either it is a city, country, region, zip code, postal code, or your state, county, whatever it may be. For that, the equivalent, the latitude and longitude is auto-generated along with your Tableau installation. The geocoded tables are there. Every versions of your Tableau, this geocoded tables being updated because they are separately doing a research on the geocoded tables. Because Tableau is one of the best intelligence reporting tool to display your chart as a map. So they wanted to maintain that credibility. Fine. So now this latitude and longitude, when you prepare a map, latitude and longitude in which shells it will be placed. So they will ask you a question. So whether your longitude will occupy your x-axis or your latitude will occupy your x-axis. So then you may be saying, so just suppose I go click this state. Just click this state. So automatically your longitude will be placed in your column shells, latitude will be placed your row shells, and whatever the column you mentioned, that will be there in your detail. Right? So then this is called as your symbol map. You can change from symbol map to the field map. You can change this. So that is a difference. But if you exactly answer this, the next question you will ask, what will happen if you swap? If suppose if your latitude occupies your column shells, your longitude occupies your row shells, what will happen? How your chart will display? Maybe if you didn't try, you may be thinking, oh no, it will display as a map only. No, what is the problem? Anyway, for the map, I require latitude and longitude. That is there. Whether it is in column shells or row shells, how it matters? No, it really matters. Because longitude occupies your x-axis and latitude occupies your y-axis, will only display your map. If it is swapped, it will show a scatter plot. It will show you a scatter plot. So now you see here, if suppose if this is a symbol map, and if I swap this, you see, this is called as your scatter plot. This is a interview question. You please note down. So longitude will always your x-axis column shells and latitude will always your y-axis row shells. If you are swapping it, this will display a scatter plot. What is scatter plot? That we'll see later. When it comes to the chart type, I will explain you in detail. Because I don't have any dimension. The relationship between the measures, either it is a 2 measures, 3 measures or 4 measures, then that is a scatter plot representation. Suppose I want to design a chart where sum of sales versus sum of discount, sum of sales versus sum of profit. So then you can go for a scatter plot. For example, so I take this is sales. So this is my profit. So immediately this is a scatter plot. So now the sales versus profit, I want to go with the subcategory. No problem. You page this. So in detail. So there are 17 subcategories. The 17 subcategories are shown. Now this is versus sales versus profit. Two measures. Now let me have this quantity also. Sorry. So let me have this quantity. So now this quadrant will become 2. So sales versus profit and quantity versus profit. You see, sales versus profit, quantity versus profit. Again, I add this discount. So there is 4 quadrants. Sales versus profit and sales versus discount. Quantity versus profit, quantity versus discount. So if you go here in the show me, you see this is a scatter plot. It says if you don't have dimension, 0 dimension also, my measures will be 2 to 4 measures. You see here? So this is the scatter plot. In detail I will explain you in the chart types. So here our takeaway is that when it comes to the latitude and longitude, so where this is placed, you should be very clear in that. So clear? So now, so this comes to an end for your visualization page. Now one more is there. Dual axis, synchronous axis. So what is it? So as I told you, when it comes to the chart representation, if you place more than one measure, it shares your axis. Now I don't want that. I wanted only one axis. Normally when you see the chart, when you place more than one dimensions in your column shares, automatically it is occupying the one side one dimension and the other side of your axis another dimension. For example, you see here. So I have category. So then I have subcategory. So this is and this, and I go to the sales, right? Suppose if I take this, see my category is here, my subcategory is here. So it is occupying one side, the another one is occupying the another side. When I place the profit here, so now this is sharing it axis. No, I don't want to share. I want to keep it as a single axis. Is it possible? So yes, it is possible. So how you can do that? So now either one. So which one you wanted to merge? So now let me go here. Right click on this. There is a dual axis system. So you see here sales and profit, the one side axis it is sharing. Now when I make a dual axis, it comes here. So like your dimension. So sales is this side and profit is this side. So immediately, so dual axis, this is what dual axis. So one side axis, it was sharing between these two measures. Now it makes a dual axis. So this side the sale is taken care and that side the profit is taken care. But one more thing, the scale you have to adjust because the sales will be of different values and profit, even the profit is having a negative value also, right? And profit, the maximum it may go to 30,000, but the sale, the maximum sale is 330,000. So you need to take care of your scale of your axis because the sales scale and the profit scale is not the one and the same. So then you cannot exactly not show the, not identify the differences. So immediately when you do a dual axis, you have to go and synchronize your axis. So then here you see 0, 100k, 200k, 300k because your maximum value of the sale is 330,000. So it starts from 0 and it displays because it displays your 330. The sale is of orange color. The sale you see it is not below your 0. Everything is above because your sale is a positive value. But you see your dimension, your profit, it starts from the negative value and maximum is 100 plus 1. It is not more than that. Now I want to synchronize my scale. So I go here, synchronize. So automatically it is adjusted now. So now this 100 plus was there. Now this is adjusted based on this sales. And sales is adjusted based on your profit. Why I say this? Because the profit is having negative value. So the sale doesn't have negative value. Still, it adjusts based on the negative value. And the profit doesn't have maximum more than 100 plus. But your sale is having. So accordingly, that maximum value is also adjusted. Now you can see for the book cases, the profit is minus 34. It is exactly representing, and the sale is, it is 140. So based on the scale, the sales scale and your profit scale is unique. So accordingly you can see the difference. You see this, okay, book cases the profit is lesser and the sale is greater. And here when it comes to the chart, the profit is very high and the sale profit means the sale is very high, the profit is still in the positive direction. So this way you can identify. And one more thing, you can play. So now what happened? The chart representation. So how many measures you keep? So here you see this marks. There is a separate marks for your sale and the separate marks for your profit. Now suppose sometimes they say that no. So this can you show this as a bar? This let it be circle. This can you show it as a bar? Can you able to do that? Yes. So go here, the sale. From this automatic, I change this to the bar. So you see here, so this is showing as a bar. So now can you show this some other instead of circle? Can you show something else? So what do you want? So any shapes you wanted. So you wanted to show some shapes. So I wanted to show this red color, means circle or circle fill. No, I don't want this. Can you show this bar, gun bar? So what gun bar will do? Only a top. I have a line. So I show this. So this is this, and this is here, this is here, this is here, and this is here. So this way it will be shown. Okay. No. I want to show this as a bar. If you want, you can show this as again a bar. So this looks like a statement bar. You can show this. Okay. So this is your dual axis, synchronized axis. When it comes to the mark, so we have two different measures. We have the marks. So we can change the one mark into different size, different card, and another mark into the another card. You can keep that. Okay, this is your dual axis and synchronized axis and your measures values legend. Okay, so when goes to the chart representation, how your axis been shared, how you control this using the dual axis and synchronized axis. When same comes to the textual representation, so how it displays, right? So what is the use of more than one measure is there, how your measure values plays the role and measure names plays the role and your measure values legend. Okay, so if they ask you how many types of legend you have, so your answer should be color legend, size legend, measure values legend. Measure values legend when it will be displayed? When you go for a textual representation. Okay, so this comes to an end of your data visualization pane. Now we are moving to the data views. In the data views, we have hierarchies, combined fields, and you have the Tableau sets, groups, parameters, filters, and you have binned fields, and you have calculated fields, table calculation, quick table calculation, LOD. So next, I think probably next 10 classes we are going to see about the data views. So now so far, so data source you connected, whatever I can play with my data source, whether I can do a data reduction, column level, row level. Row level means data source filters, column level means you are creating your hide and hide, changing the data type, or I wanted to split, custom split, so I can do that, right? So from this, so now coming to here in the visualization pane, so you understood what is data pane and row column shells, pages shells, filter shells and marks, and what is show me, and in yesterday's class I explained you about this toolbar, each and every aspects. and this MDI menu. So we have seen this show title, show caption, show summary, describe sheet, duplicate as cross tab, and this and all we'll see later. Fine. So now before that, today's class, I will show you how to create a Tableau data extract. Tableau data extract. So now this order sample superstore is there. So how much is the size? If you go here and see this, the Tableau superstore is 3.3281 KB. It's around 3 MB, right? So it is 3.2 MB file. So I didn't do any changes. I didn't apply any data source filter, nothing. No, I don't do any changes. Just go here and extract data. So even I don't apply extract filters also. If there are any data source filter, that would be shown here. And you can add your own additional extract filters also. So I am not doing anything. So just click on this extract. So where I keep, so let me keep it in your folder. So the same file name, you see here, the save as type TDE, Tableau data extract, right? And before this, let me get it. Before this, you see here, this is pointing to live. This is pointing to live. Okay. So now come here and extract data. So click on extract. So my file, this folder, I keep this, right? So it starts extract. So some 30 seconds it takes. It is executing internal query, compressing, importing, all those options it will do. Right, it's done. Extract is done. Now you see here, from the live, it is moved to the extract. So far, before I create a extract, it was connected to the data source where I kept in my hard disk. So it is a live connection. So not only the hard disk, if it is connected to the database tables, directly it is connecting. So then that is a live connection. Means here you are not using the inline memory of your particular options of your tool. Now when you create an extract, what is happening? So it compresses the data set whichever you are pointing to, and that data set, the compressed file, it is placed in your memory. Now only you are started using your real power of your tool. When this is pointing to an extract, you are using your extract, and that extract is placed in your inline memory. Now you see here, extract includes all data. So when you wanted to refresh, you can refresh, right? So this is the one. So now we'll see the size. So now I go here. So see this is your extract. What is the size? 667 KB. So what was the size earlier? 3281. Nothing I did. So just I created a TDE. The same data only it is seen. So the same data. There is any disturbance? Nothing. Now it is pointing to the Tableau data set which is from the extract file TDE, and that is also it is placed in the memory. Right? How much size compressed? So 3281, this is 667. So 3281 divided by 10 is 328. Into 2 times, it is somewhere around 656. This is 667. So your extract is compressed 80%. Now the final output is 20% of your original size. Got it? I didn't do any options. If I apply options, further it will. That's why we told 80 to 90% of your data set will be compressed when you are creating your Tableau data extract. That is what the promises the architects provide you. So you are seeing it live. So I didn't enable any of the options straight. I create an extract. Now I will use my own optimization. What is that? So now suppose these are all the fields. Now so far I have 8 sheets. So before creating the extract, you need to understand one more thing, that so go here, hide. So hide unused fields. I think I explained the one option one time. I explained in one of class to you or not. So few months later, in one of my project, there was one junior developer. He joined. So please notice this. So I have given a dashboard. So that was having 22 sheets. So a data source was there and 22 sheets was there. So now I told him, Srini, so you need to identify, right, what are all the unused fields here in this dashboard. Unused fields, I told, because that is a 22 sheets means you see how much fields will be there in that particular data source. He said fine. So I have given the work to him on Monday morning. So he was doing, he opened the Excel sheet, and what he did, he prepared each and every tab. He put a sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, like that 22 sheets he put that in the particular Excel sheet. And the first sheet he keep this one. So this is a dimension, this is a measure, everything he note down. So I keep observing him what he is doing. One day went, second day went, and third day finally, the Wednesday, he came to me and he showed everything. Everything. He worked a very good elaborative exercise, very good. So finally, the output is 100% perfect. But how much hours he spent? 24 hours he spent. So instead, if we go here, just hide all unused fields. So you see only the used fields will display. How to identify the unused fields then? No worries. Go here, show hidden fields, which are all in gray color, that are all the identified. So how much time it will take for you? So maximum 10 minutes or 15 minutes. For that, he spent 24 hours time. Why? Because of the inexperience. Because he was not knowing this option before. Hide unused fields and show hidden fields. So if you are hiding the unused fields, not only this one sheet, one of my student in one class, he was asking, the data source, he was thinking each and every sheet will be different data sources. He was thinking that way. Suppose if I apply a option here, so the same, maybe he wanted to apply in this data source also. No, it is not the case. Data source is for same for all the sheets. So if your source, data source is attached with this all the sheets in your workbook, so the fields which are all used in all the sheets, that is from the one data source or two data source, whatever it is, your workbook is associated with. So now when you hide, so what will happen? It goes and checks in all your sheets. What are all the fields? Wherever it may be. Whether you may have placed in row, column, marks, filter, pages, wherever you use. Or even in your calculated field also you used. You are not used directly. You created a calculated field and used it. So it checks everywhere and hide which are all the fields which is not. That in fraction of seconds this will happen. And when you go just to show the hidden fields, so it will show me the hidden fields. So how many hidden fields are there in the gray color? You see the customer name color and the order date color difference. So now for example, I go here, if I try to drag, it will not come. It will not come. The order date will not come because it is hidden. Now I want to use this. No worries. Go here and hide and make use of this. And so here, no, oh, I want this region. Go here and hide and use this region. Now, so this both become used fields now, right? So now, when I create an extract for this, so use the same extract, so extract data. So now it see the number of rows, all rows, fine. So when I create an extract, so it was earlier 656 KB, now you see here. So now you see here, where it went. So I'll do one thing, let me remove this, the extract, remove. So it will ask just remove the extract. or remove the extract and delete the file. So now that 6667 is without any filters. So just a raw data I create an extract. If just remove the extract means it will just remove the connection to the extract. If you use this remove the extract and delete the file, it will remove the connection and provide the extract also from the particular location. Just I remove the extract. That's all. Now this is pointing to the live file. Again it is back to the original file, that XLS file. Now, so I use hide all unused fields, fine. So now I go create an extract again. So where I will create in the same file, maybe I will give it as version 1.0. I create this one. Let me use this. So it will start creating the extract for me. Right. So now I go here. The second one has come. Now you see here 275. Now what is the original sale? 3200. So it is even more than 90%, it is compressed. Because I used only a few fields here. So normally that is not possible. That is not the scenario. Maybe 80% of the fields we will be using. Otherwise only 20% I will not keep in my data set. So like this options if you apply. So normally this is the practice you need to use. When you are creating an extract, hide all unused fields and create an extract. These are all will improvise your performance when it is not done, because sometimes the performance optimization comes to us any dashboard, because that we cannot blame the previous developers, because they will be working on the stringent deadlines schedules. They spend time on the requirement gathering and they prepare the HLD and they start working on the establishing the connections and bring the data set, and then all those things they are that and working on these requirements. Maybe they thought that okay, last minute, because once your dashboard completes, then when you create an extract, that time only you hide unused fields. So maybe that time they don't have much time, they forgot. Sometimes it happens. So it is delivered and they left. So once it is delivered, so deployed into the production, so they will release the consultants. So then what will happen after some time? When the data start growing, it impacts the performance. Then they hire another developer and say that, can you please work on this performance optimization of the dashboard. So then if he goes sees that, so then maybe he understood, oh, the previous developer didn't hide unused fields. If you hide the unused fields and create an extract, still it will reduce the 10% of my data size. So he didn't do that. So that is not a problem. That is not is might be some may deliberately they do, some maybe by with not having much time, so they miss that. So when it comes to the performance optimization, these are all the things you need to cap. So first go and see any show hidden fields are there, hide unused fields. So this is your options you have, and here also it is there. So show hidden fields, you see here, so it will show what all the hidden fields are there. And also one more thing, when you are creating an extract, so not only it is hiding, it will remove the data also. Till before you have this, the hidden fields, it has the data. When you create an extract, because it is reduced further, it means that file values also missing. Only the names will be there. Okay. So and again you wanted to unhide, means in this data set extract you cannot do. So you can. So now you see here show hidden fields. So it will be showing only the names here. This product name, this is hidden. The field will be excluded, the value will be excluded. Again you can connect to the live source and then unhide the field. So now for example I just uncheck this. Now it started using. So now you can go here and unhide and then use it. And then again you extract. You got it? So when you are using the same file, whether it is an external file or your data source, you are hiding, you can unhide. When that data set is pointing to the same live file, you can unhide, hide whenever you want it. But when you converted as an extract, only the field name will be there, field values will be excluded. If you want that, again you have to connect back to the data source, live data source, and make that unhide and have the values inside and then create an extract again. Okay, so this is the practice we need to follow. So okay, So this is we have for this Tableau data extract. And one more option is there. So still we can do that. What is that? So I can, if you wanted, I can create in filters. So in your order of operations, I already showed you the extract filter is the top priority. The next one comes to the data source filter. Whatever the filter you add here, this is the first priority. Okay. So it will exclude that values from your extract, one thing. And here aggregate data for visual dimensions. So this basically, so how this, the date fields. Suppose I have order date, sales date, approval date. So that, suppose in a particular date, suppose today 28th February, so the same customer, the same quantity, he bought twice. The same day, two orders it is there, but the same customer, the same product, maybe the quantity differs. He bought twice. So then that would be aggregated when you go for the day. When you go for the month, the same customer, the same product, maybe different quantities. He bought on the first week, 10th day of the month, 15th, 21st. It is aggregated. You carefully note this. The same customer, suppose Syed is the customer, he bought the product 1 to 3. He bought it on the second day of the month, 8th day of the month, 15th day of the month, 23rd day of the month, and 30th day of the month. So 5 records for the same customer and same product, but different quantities. That is different. It aggregates month wise, and you can do with the quarter wise. You can do the same with the year wise. That way you can go for an aggregate of your data. It will reduce the data, right? So suppose for example this will work when goes with the large data like banking, insurance. So for example the policy. So the policy, probably the premium they received. So if you go for a SIP, monthly wise you is paying the premium, or you go for a quarterly premium, or he goes once. Once a premium means a transaction table, only one record will be there for the policy. Suppose he opts for the affiliate. So two transactions will be there for the particular policy in a year. So I already have a millions of transactions. For one policy I have 2 records, 4 records, 12 records. So what is the use? I aggregate. Suppose the policy value premium is $100. If he is going for a affiliate, $50, value is $100. Same policy. So I aggregate that into 100. So 2 records will be aggregated into one. So same if you go for a quarterly, 25, 25, 25, 25. So it aggregates and gives you. So like this, the millions of records, when you work with a large volume of records, when you wanted an aggregation, whether a day wise, month wise, quarter wise, or the year wise, you can do that. So still it will reduce the data. Okay. So these are all the options also available. Okay, this is the option. So in while creating an extract, we can apply separately an extract filters, or you can hide unused fields and create an extract, and you can go for an aggregation as well. So that too, especially the date. Especially the date, you have day wise, month wise, quarter wise, and the year wise. You can do that. Okay. So this is how we have for the extract. So you please practice this. So tomorrow we'll start with the